Fun to be out on the ice with those kids and putting them through the paces?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's always good to have a little time away and spend time with family, but you get to this point in summer and you get excited to get back out there with some of the guys you had last year, but also to see the new draft picks. And because of COVID, we haven't gotten to do this in so long. It was great to have all of our, most of our, if not all of our top prospects together on the ice, but just spending time together and spending time with the organization.
What kind of things do they do off the ice? I mean, we see what's here, but I remember one year they were talking about their time cooking classes. I mean, all sorts of different. What kind of things do they do off the ice while they're there?
Some bonding. Last night was the introductory meeting because so many of the picks over the last couple of years haven't met so many of the people involved in the organization. So that was last night's Show Us Sabres video about the history and tradition of the organization. There'll be some guest speakers, some from within the Sabres and without. We're going to tour the Bills facility at some point this week. There is a nutrition class. There's you're trying to teach them some of the ones, especially for the ones that aren't going to be with us in Rochester or Buffalo this year. You're trying to give them things both on the ice and off the ice that they can take back to their teams that they're with so they can continue to develop and progress throughout the season.
In your role, from your perspective, what's it been like to watch the last 2 years just through drafting, how much talent the organization has added, and a lot of kids that you've already just, you're going to coach this year or beyond?
Yeah, Jerry Fortin and Jeremiah Crow and their staff, I think, have done a fabulous job. And I was pretty familiar because of my time at USA with a lot of the 02s and 03s and 01s, but even the 04s I have good familiarity with. And I just think our scouting staff has done a fabulous job of selecting skill, skating ability, hockey intelligence, and then also character. Guys that drive their teams, guys that were captains, leaders, that are going to come in and be future strong Sabres. So I can't say enough about the work the scouting staff has done.
Seth, what's the value of Krebs, Power, Turco, the guys who've gotten a taste? What's the value of this camp? They get a chance they haven't had before to be here, and how much does it help the other guys?
I think it probably helps the other guys the most. That was an idea that Kevin Adams and Jason Carmanos had. I thought it was a fabulous idea. And I also think it's a credit to the quality of the men that we have in that crew that they want to be here. Instead of rolling their eyes and be like, really, I got to come back in the middle of summer and do this, they were excited because they're all so excited. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're all excited about where it's headed. And they are really excited about where it's headed. So they're excited. Jack Quinn called me on our drive in and was asking me about the draft picks and tell me about this kid and how did this kid fall to that spot. That's how engaged that they are in the process. And it's an opportunity for them as young players in our organization to have a leadership role, to show some of the new picks the ropes, especially, for the European players, to have a veteran guy be able to speak the native tongue and that language is very comforting and welcoming to them.
What stands out about Ryan Johnson when you see him up close, maybe for the first time in a while?
Just as how explosive of a skater he is. Ryan Johnson is an excellent skater. Obviously, he's a heck of a defenseman, had a very good college career, and just his explosiveness that he gets around the ice and where the game is headed. With defensemen being mobile, and you saw what Colorado did in the playoffs with a really mobile decor. Those are the type of players that are extremely valuable.
As someone with a deep background in goaltending, what's like just having the quality prospects that you have in this camp, even though UPL isn't here, the other three?
Yeah, it's exciting. It was not a goalie-friendly practice today, and I apologize to them throughout practice for that. But it was designed for skill and thought process. That practice is designed to. We looked at ways that you score goals in the NHL, and we tried to simulate practice for them today. The goalies had the short end of the stick. But, man, did they do a great job with that. I mean, the competitiveness that Portillo and Levi showed in a really difficult practice for them in the middle of the summer, I thought was very impressive to see. So you have their talents. Obviously, you have Leinonen, who's the highest drafted goalie in the world this year. So it's exciting to have that depth, obviously, on top of having Upi already in our organization.
You mentioned guys like Paterka, Quinn, Krebs. Where do you think they are after last season, and what do you think their chances are of contributing to the Sabres this season?
Well, obviously those are decisions that are made in training camp and more by people above my pay grade. So I'll let them handle that. But I know that we're all excited about what they've done in our organization, both in Rochester and in Buffalo, and about what they're about to do for our organization going forward. So tremendous teammates, work ethic is elite, and obviously their hockey intelligence and skill shows for itself. So I'm not banking on getting the opportunity to be with them again, but those things will be determined at a later date.
You mentioned the off-ice stuff that the guys are doing this week. I know Brock McGillis is coming in on Friday to do, like LGBTQ training. How important is that, in today's age and just being culturally aware?
It's huge. It's of critical importance. And Kevin talks about it all the time, that we want to not just draft really talented hockey players. We want to draft great people that want to be Sabres. And how you treat people, how you treat others, how inclusive we are is critically important to our organization. So that starts right at the top and goes on through. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity, again, like we were saying earlier, on the ice and off the ice, to learn, to gain valuable experience, and to be able to take that back with them as they move forward.